This is In the Know for Friday, March 21, the 80th day of 2025. There are 285 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app, using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We'll also get you ready for a big weekend. That and a whole lot more coming up today. Here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's B. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yesterday we learned our vocabulary was challenged with the word vernal.
Oh, yes, that's right.
We learned that thanks to Barry. I am now educating you. If someone calls you a pronk, P-R-O-N-K, should you be insulted?
I don't know.
You know what a pronk is?
I do not. Lay it on me.
You should be insulted. A pronk is a weak or foolish individual, like those dumb criminals who get themselves caught. They think they're smart criminals and they do something dumb and they get caught.
Okay.
They're pronkish. That makes them a pronk.
Okay.
So don't let people call you a pronk, but feel free to call people one if it's
Okay.
appropriate. Fair enough?
Okay, so we couldn't have just stuck with, like, punk.
I think they're first cousins, actually. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even McNeese State. Sorry, that just got me. Sam Gormley and the sports. How you doing, Sam?
Good. How are you? Well, you're. Oh well. No, you gotta say it. It's gonna be weird if you don't. You can't say it that way.
What?
You gotta say morning.
Say it. Okay.
So then I have to follow up with morning, Ralph. It felt weird.
Agreed.
Think it'll cast a pall over the show
Yeah,
if I don't do it correctly? All right, morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good.
You capitalized yesterday on the, we changed our bracket rules where you get the benefit of the seed total. So when you make a bold pick, you get bonus points for the pick, and McNeese State helped give you a big lead after day number 1. I think you got 13 of 16 correct. I think I got 11 of 16. You got 11 of 16.
Oh, look at me go.
There was a period where I was perfect. I've made the first 8. I was 8 for 8.
I tell you, I was proud of you. I coveted you on that a little bit because I'll tell you, I had McNeese State selected and I let it sit there for a while, and I talked myself out of it. And I talked myself out of it because it came down to, well, one, I don't think the ACC is very good, and now 50% of the ACC teams are gone already. But Clemson beat Kentucky, and that's really what it came down to. And I thought, well, and it was a more healthy Kentucky team, and so, but McNeese State came in and played freely, and I didn't allow for the Will Wade factor. Will Wade was highly motivated, of course, to, he's on his way to what, NC State next year?
Well, it's not official yet.
Not official.
Yeah, no, because I mean, if he keeps winning, then you never know if somebody else with maybe a little bit more money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not a done deal, but it's clear there are lots of coaching conversations that are happening.
Yeah, I
during
think
the season.
Roger Lush, is single-handedly paying for his entire salary down there. So
I know he kind of had a problem past, but he's looking for some redemption. Speaking of redemption, I have to say, Rick Pitino's press conference last night after the game, they're already sizing him up. Okay, you and Cal get to go at it again, and Pitino said. He said he doesn't have to worry about me. He said my jump shot left me a long time ago, and I thought it was a very diplomatic thing to say. But you can tell Rick has gotten to an era where, he's been up, he's been down, and he's managed to get himself back to some notoriety and getting some pub. He's doing it in his hometown, doing it with St. John's. He's kind of like the old adage, you're never a hero in your hometown, but he's feeling the love from the New York people now, and he's the first coach to take 6 different teams to the NCAA. And so if he were to manage to get to the Final Four, he would be the first coach to do it with 4 schools. Is that right?
Maybe I don't know.
I think that's right. Providence, got there. Kentucky got there, of course. Louisville got there, and if he can get St. John's there, so that's the matchup. You took Arkansas over Kansas?
No, that was the first one I missed.
That was the one you missed. I didn't allow for how bad that was. This is a below average Bill Self team at Kansas, and so Arkansas overperformed a little bit. So you get tomorrow. You get Cal and Patino. So I did see where Cal said he was super shocked that they weren't having to play this game in Lexington.
Yeah.
And that would have been...
I mean, there would have been a pretty heavy UK contingency that I think would have gone.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Who doesn't want to watch? Everybody loves a car wreck. I mean, it's, you don't necessarily love it, but you can't stop looking at it. So there you go. Weather forecast for today, because we'll circle back to the tournament in not only yesterday's action, but today's action. I don't think I have a printed copy around with the forecast on, but you're going to get warmer today than you were yesterday. We'll should reach 60 today. We'll get a little warmer tomorrow, 62 for your Saturday, 62 for your Sunday, and then you get into the 50s for a big part of next week. And clearly an opportunity for some rain showers as we get in, but not below freezing in the 10-day forecast, so that's nice. We did wake to some frost this morning. As looked out, I was like, wow, big frost happened overnight, which, can happen this time of year. That's why they tell you, wait until Easter or so to do some of your planting, and Easter is late this year as well. Still, just less than a month away now. It's on April the 20th. National headlines for today to cover with you. It's a national headline, but could have big implications on our state, our Commonwealth, as well as all of the 50 states. But President Trump yesterday signed an executive order calling for the dismantling of the U.S. Education Department, advancing a campaign promise to take apart an agency that's been a longtime target of conservatives. To be clear and specific, it will take Congress to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. But I have a lot of questions about it because I'm unsure if it's the right move. I understand the political move that is a very powerful lobby and typically does not line up with conservative ideology. But that's one of the reasons of the dismantling. But what they say is that the reasons for dismantling the Department of Education is that in 45 years, it was created in 1980. So right as I started school, so I never really went to school before the U.S. Department of Education was formed. But President Trump said, and Caroline Leavitt will say, we spend more on education than any other country in the world, and we perform near the bottom of education in the world. And so they're using that as the reason to say, well, let's dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, and let's take that money and let's give it back to the states, and then let the states decide how they want to invest in the educational platform in their states. Okay, that sounds reasonable to me. I can go with you on that argument to a point, but I need to know, take me back to 1979. Show me of the 50 states, show me the one who was doing it the best, that was having success, that was performing at a very high level, and let's figure out what they were doing so that maybe we can do that too. Just because you change it and you give the money back to the states does not necessarily mean we're going to get a better outcome. Could we possibly get a better outcome? Yes, we could. Could we get a worse outcome? Yes, we could. One of the things that makes me nervous, though, is the majority of school funding is coming at the local level through property taxes and et cetera, the taxes that we pay on your phone bill, on your cable bill. If you itemize it, you'll see that we're helping contribute. But you get some federal funds. A lot of them are USDA, food and transportation, et cetera. But do we get a disproportionate amount do we get 1/50th of the money? Or do we get back what we send to Washington? So if you just go through and you take all the money collected in Kentucky on behalf of federal education and you carry it to Washington, D.C., do they just give us that amount back? Or do we benefit from the larger amounts that might be paid in New York and California and Texas and some of these areas? So that's one of the things when you consider Kentucky specifically, you want to try and figure out, how is this good for Kentucky? Being in control of your own destiny sounds attractive, but if we're being subsidized by more than our fair share of the dollars, then that obviously could create a void and a vacuum. So I'm not gonna lobby for one side or the other. I have a lot of questions, and whether it becomes reality or not, I don't know. They were careful to say programs like special education and things would just be handled by other departments that are doing similar things already. They wouldn't be upended. So anyway, it's not the last conversation that you're going to hear on that matter. A representative from the Transportation Cabinet was at the fiscal court meeting yesterday and gave, basically the headline of the meeting from them was, a roundabout is going to be installed at Elizabethtown Road where it meets the Thomas and Byway. So US 62 and the Byway. We've known this coming for a while, but it came into kind of more of a timeline and giving some update, giving some stats. Bo Warren was his name. It was escaped me for a moment. He gave the update. Sam, were you there last night? Did you cover this meeting?
Oh yeah, it was a marathon of a meeting.
Yeah, I thought you were there. I didn't know if you delegated it. I thought you probably did it yourself. But
looking back, I wish I had delegated it because it was about an hour and 40-minute meeting.
Well, if I get out of bounds, if I step out of bounds, please get me back in bounds. But one of the things he was sharing was about people are complaining about the roundabouts because they're different. People don't like change. But he says that 80 to 85% crashes decrease by 80 to 85% when they're installed, and that's not based upon Europe. That's based upon their 11 counties and where they've installed them.
I believe that is injury accidents too. To specify too.
The fender benders still occur, but as you might have heard me say before, I learned in the last year that what it does is it eliminates the T-bone accidents. Those are the dangerous ones, right? The T-bones are what, and if you'll look, say, the intersection of Salt River Road and the Byway, where you're coming, out Salt River Road from Mill Street and you go out there, the way that the shape of the Byway is, where it's kind of coming from your 2 o'clock and it's kind of coming from your 10 o'clock, and it's hard to measure speed, and so you get out there and you're more likely, is that vehicle traveling faster, slower, etc. The sight lines at that intersection are really bad. But what it will do is if it brings all traffic to a slower speed and then you enter the roundabout with the lanes, no one ever not no one ever stops, but if no one is there waiting for you, you don't stop and you just keep going. Over where Taylor and Cameron live is a very good example. It's probably one of the busiest roundabouts in Bowling Green.
Oh, it's a great one.
It is a good one, and it has changed that area. Like, that used to be a terrible intersection.
Agree.
And now it's good because traffic just doesn't. It keeps flowing. It moves. It's smart. It's efficient. Here's the other thing that I like about it. When the power goes out, it doesn't turn into a four-way stop and no one knows what to do. When the electricity goes out or it malfunctions, guess what? It just keeps spinning roundabout. So once you get used to it, I believe that you will. But you're seeing them all over the United States. It's not just Kentucky. You're seeing them in Alabama. You're seeing them in lots of places, and they are here to stay. And they may be expensive to build, but they're inexpensive to maintain because there's just not any technology involved. You can read at K105.com about some paving projects, some resurfacing that is coming up that they gave an update on. Sam, anything else that we need to pass along today that can't wait until Monday or?
There was a lot of talk about conservation and some issues that were from the storms that we had back in February due to some of the dams with like Short Creek and so on. That was the majority of the meeting. There was an engineer there talking, and they're trying to figure out the best way to fix that. And then at the end of the meeting, which you can see back on our YouTube channel, Judge Henderson, he is saying what the county is now doing to kind of what you talked about on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it was, from Councilman Bocock. So kind of how they're the next steps that the county is taking in a similar realm, I guess.
Right. And then at the end of the meeting, after they adjourned, didn't the judge give everybody there a crisp $100 bill?
Well, clearly I had left if that had
You
happened.
didn't get yours.
No, at the end they asked if I was still awake. I said, no, I'm just ready to go home and watch some basketball.
No, I'm not.
I said, my phone's almost dead here. I had, luckily for YouTube TV, I could pull it up there and put one eye on, one eye on the other side.
I went to an event last night, and Miss Buckles, before I left, she said, "Are they going to have TVs there?" I said, "Honey, you know me. I travel with TV everywhere I go. It's like
I
no
know,
problem."
but like where he was going, it was like, surely to goodness, the person who chose that
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, that was an
what
interesting
day is,
interesting
right?
time and date to pick that.
I thought the
Yeah,
same
I'd like
exact
to,
thing, Sam.
especially for a group of broadcasters that clearly know when the NCAA tournament
Right?
is. But a Grayson County man granted pretrial diversion on drug charges was arrested on a drug trafficking warrant. Grayson County Deputy Andy Cass arrested 23-year-old Travis Whelan last night at about 10:45 at 5 Star on South Main Street. Cass made the arrest on the strength of a warrant obtained by the Grayson County Sheriff's Office accusing Whelan of drug trafficking. A Hardin County man has been found guilty of fatally shooting his wife. 35-year-old Jordan Henning of Rineyville was found guilty of first-degree manslaughter in the shooting death of his wife, 37-year-old Ashley Henning, also of Rineyville, in June of 2023. Both were active duty military personnel stationed at Fort Knox at the time of the shooting, which occurred during an argument over a slip and slide at a birthday party for Ashley. I mean, it's almost, I mean, isn't that silly? It's preposterous that someone,
Slip and slides get rough.
an argument over, someone loses their life over an argument over a slip and slide. Governor Beshear vetoed the DEI measure yesterday. He says that it's about hate. I disagree with the governor on the hate aspect. I understand what he's saying, but I think one of the things that we are drifting away from in our country is a meritocracy, where the people who perform tasks the best do the best or get selected for, rather than, I think we have drifted so far from what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said in these areas. You know, we've either overcorrected or we went to where he was and then went way too far to the other side. Dr. King said a person should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. And so let's judge and select people based upon their character and their skill, rather than just because you meet a certain qualification. And that's what this is attempting to do. But again, there's no room for hate in the world at all for any reason. In fact, we're told not to. The U of L Cardinals season came to I'll call it an abrupt end, because they had convinced me they were going further. Sam, I felt sorry for them when they got an 8 seed, but as it turns out, I didn't know what I was talking about.
I mean, I picked Creighton. And then when I saw that the line was Louisville minus 3.5, I said, well, that's free money. Yeah. So it was, and then I got vindicated in the first half. I mean, I kind of felt bad for them. I mean, their player got hurt there at the end, but I don't know that it really would have mattered. Creighton was playing really well, and the ACC isn't as good as people think it, or is worse than people thought it was.
Creighton was a very good defensive team, and they just exerted their will with the 89-75 win, and they will advance. Louisville just could not, they would mount a little bit of they're showing a little momentum, they might be surging to come back, and then I don't know that they were going to come back, because you will just never quite know. But that was a very unfortunate timing for a technical foul. And Kelsey even said, far less than ideal time to get a technical, because it gave Creighton another advantage and basically closed the door.
I don't know that you weren't in Lexington, so I mean, I don't know if you've got a quick trip up there. Were you the one that threw the water bottle?
I did not throw a water bottle. I wouldn't throw a water bottle because, just like throwing money away. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that costs, I think, $6 at Rupp, so.
Absolutely. I did think it was funny. They didn't throw a $12 beer. It was like they didn't do that. Of course, they take they make sure that you can't do that. They discourage that through their practices there. But
they put a sippy cup lid on top of the beers there, which drives my brother crazy.
Wow,
it's kind of like a lid you put on coffee, to-go coffee.
yeah.
So they do that at Rupp for the beer. But it's also really smart because we tell him, have you walked up those stairs at Rupp Arena?
Oh, that's true. All the
Pretty-
sloshing around.
Pretty steep, without a doubt. The Cats have they play tonight, and so now the pressure's on them. Cal made it through the first. You got What's funny is the number of Kentucky fans that I have seen. I've told you I have felt sorry for them. They haven't been there since 2019. I thought they were going to advance in the tournament. I had felt bad enough. We need them to be a good school. We need them to be competitive for the rivalry to continue, etc. So I was impressed with the number of Kentucky fans that were either saddened or disappointed, or say sorry to hear that they had lost. But for the ones that are going, now the pressure's on Kentucky because Cal got out of the first round. So now you got St. Peter's and Oakland. They have only won one game in, I don't know, the same stretch of time since like 2019 in the tournament. But it's completely different, except for a couple of walk-ons. There's no one on the squad that was on the bench last year during the Oakland loss. So Golke means nothing to our current team. So that shouldn't be a factor tonight, Samuel.
I can't imagine why it would be.
Okay, I don't understand. It's going to be a stupid question. So I've pulled up my bracket over here.
Yep.
So the things that I didn't win, like the teams that I chose that lost, why aren't they marked out?
Don't they have an X through them?
Mine don't.
Okay.
It does on my end here.
Yeah, we can look during the break.
So it sounds like a
figure it out.
user.
Oh,
okay.
I didn't realize. Oh, you had Kansas going far, Christy. Oh, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I hadn't looked at that either. They've changed that a little bit where it's a little harder for me to see everyone else's bracket, or at least maybe I just haven't spent enough time investigating it. The other night, the team went to dinner at Jeff Ruby's and watched Remember the Titans, which to me is like, well, how have those kids not ever seen Remember the Titans? And then I have to remember,
They're kids.
oh yeah, they are children, and they weren't born when that movie came out. But it is from a team building perspective, it is one of the best movies ever made, and based on a true story as well. So a lot of components about our world, a lot of cultural things in that movie. So it's a good one. If you've not seen it, you should take it up. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. The Weekend Funny Tweets is coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
The mobile unit from Intensive Health brings trusted, high-quality addiction treatment right to your community. Serving 5 counties, including Grayson, our innovative services offer telehealth treatment, mental health counseling, medical health assessment, primary care, and general medical services. We also offer hepatitis C and HIV screenings and treatment. No more long travels for essential care. We are discreet and accessible. Visit intensivehealth.com to find out more. A StepWorks recovery service.
Successful small business owners know that having an ally in decoding the data of your business performance is vital. A trusted source that can interpret financial reports, advise on tax code, and assess overall performance can be the difference between sleepless nights and peace of mind. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart is your ally in making sure your business is performing at an optimum level. Call or contact today to find out how Buckles, Travis & Hart can help fine-tune your business to create peak performance. 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
Every child deserves to feel safe, heard, and loved. Right now, there are children in our community facing tough times, and they need someone to stand by their side. That someone could be you.
My name is Misty, and I'm the 4-H Extension Agent from LaRue County, and I'm a proud CASA volunteer.
My name is Debbie Childress, and I'm the Executive Director of the Grayson County Alliance, and I'm a proud CASA volunteer.
My name is Kitty Smith. I am a proud CASA volunteer from Meade County. You can be a CASA too.
It only takes a few hours a month to make a lasting impact. Your voice can help a child find hope and stability during the most difficult moments. Visit CASAHeartland.org or call us today to learn more. Help us build brighter futures one child at a time.
Joey from Vermont. a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
AT&T wants you to have a corded phone again. Reed Tennis explains.
The phone giant has a new service called AT&T Phone Advanced. It's a modern take on a traditional landline, and it's available in 60 markets across 16 states. It is a traditional phone with a cellular connection. You can plug in an old-school phone, a fax machine, even your alarm system, and you can use it to call your cell phone when you can't find it. The system costs $46 a month, including a $1 fee for equipment.
And Vice President J.D. Vance says the artificial intelligence technology sector should be free to create unimpeded. Speaking at the Andreessen Horowitz American Dynamism Summit in Washington, D.C., Vance says there's too much fear that AI will replace jobs rather than augmenting so many of the things we do now. He says it's no different than ATMs versus bank tellers. He says history shows innovation helps create more engaging, higher-paying jobs, and by not imposing significant regulations on AI, the Trump administration promises to give the tech sector the freedom to innovate. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is Flower Day, Flowwer. It's a Fragrance Day as well. You might also know that it is World Down Syndrome Day. It's kind of for those of you that don't know, my late Aunt Holly, who was barely older than I, she was the youngest of my dad's sibling group, and I'm the oldest, and so we weren't separated by much, but she had Down syndrome, so my entire life, that's been, it's been kind of at the forefront, and something that there's just a sweetness and if you've never been around someone like that, it's very hard to describe. Mm-hmm. But you knew my Aunt Holly, and so she was a treat. I mean, she was a.
I wish I could throw that photo up. No.
Oh yeah, of you all wearing your hoods with your vests or whatever. So
she was so excited when I came down.
It's just amazing, and
driving her around in the Hummer.
She had all the streets. Oh yeah, she went with us in the parade.
Mm-hmm.
She could tell you all of the streets north to south and east to west of Manhattan.
It's crazy.
Like things that and so it's World Down Syndrome Day today. Today is also Crunchy Taco Day. Tomorrow is Young as You Feel Day. Tomorrow is Sing Out Day. So you can, the Carpenters, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. Are you glad I didn't sing that?
I am.
Okay, I figured you would be.
I'm over here singing it in my head.
Tomorrow is Gryffindor Pride Day. Yesterday was Hufflepuff. Slytherin is not on my list for if it's tomorrow.
Well, see, we have one of our crew members whose nickname is Hufflepuff. So so I almost had to send him a text message yesterday. And, I mean, you hear at the end of every broadcast that he works, usually I call him Eli Hufflepuff Smith.
That's true. Yeah, you do that. Tomorrow is Broccoli Day. A chop of broccoli. A chop of broccoli.
We need to eat some of that in the fridge.
Yes. Well, I was about to ask you if that
what
was.
What am I going to do with it?
Well, if that was common, if that's common property.
Please.
Okay.
I see. But do you like it raw? For me, it has to be steamed.
I will eat it raw, but I prefer it cooked. How do you prefer?
I prefer it cooked, but I'll do whatever.
Yeah, I do not like. I love steamed broccoli, but raw broccoli, no.
Sunday is also World Meteorological Day. World Meteorological Day. Say hello to a weatherman. Shane, former meteorologist down at WBKO, he was in town. They had that event yesterday, didn't they?
Yes.
That, disaster preparation event and weather-wise, etc. The Weekend Funny tweets. Red, with 2 Ds, R-E-D-D, said, no, that was no good. That's not a funny tweet. Sorry. Stacy said, You'll thank me later.
Try again.
Stacy said,
Now I want to go read what this tweet was.
I have tasted employment. I have tasted joblessness. And I recommend generational wealth. Well, yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Amy said, imagine a baby named Larry. You can't. It's impossible. To which I thought, I can't imagine a baby named Larry. I know men named Larry. Were they always men? Or what at some point in time say, ooh, Gucci goo, baby Larry. It just doesn't work as a baby's name. Nor does Lawrence.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's what I was trying on in my head. Maybe it's Lawrence.
Gillip Pfeffer said, just made myself a coffee topped with foamed milk and cinnamon, which would taste so much better had I not accidentally used paprika.
Oh, yeah.
Two distinctly different tastes.
That's one that, I mean, you could make that mistake. Just be like the same thing if you accidentally put cinnamon on your deviled eggs.
Or cumin on things.
Or cinnamon instead of chili powder. Stone Cold Fox said, kind of sucks that the prize for washing your laundry is getting to fold your laundry.
Mm-hmm. And then the prize for that is putting it away.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure which of those three. The washing's easy, right? Mm-hmm. Throw it in there, hit the button.
That's why it's my favorite.
The folding, folding not so much. And then Emily said, Emily's got a very good point here. Emily wants to know, why hasn't Lululemon created a line of bras named Lulu Melons?
Oh, that's a good one.
That is creative.
Do they not have a good creative team? Like, did they not get in a room, go, know what we should do?
Right.
They must have hired the same people that Skippy hired to make their peanut butter bunnies. I guess it's possible. 5 reasons yelling at your child fails. Not that any of us have ever yelled at our children, certainly. But in case you've ever known someone to do so, here's some advice you can give them. It might feel like a quick fix, but it often does more harm than good. Yelling can derail the lesson or information that you're trying to communicate. All right. Yelling can make a child feel devalued. Okay. Yelling can fuel anxiety. Yelling derails bonding with your child. Yelling at your child can create long-term negative effects. What can you do to improve their listening skills? Is there a way to do that without yelling? There surely is. I'm not a yeller, so I don't know. But
yeah, yelling.
You stoop down to their level, and you look at them dead in the face and the eyes, and you speak to them.
But really,
in a stern manner.
You could say the yelling thing for just in general.
I do not respond well.
Yeah.
To being yelled at.
Nobody. I mean, nobody really wants to be yelled at.
I think some people do. I think there are people who will antagonize others because they are looking to spar.
But many a good adult, though, many a good adult parent, when dealing with an adolescent.
I meant others, like Sam was talking
yes,
about. Just kids.
Clearly. Yeah, yelling in general doesn't really accomplish anything as far as I'm concerned.
No.
But especially when it comes. But to quote Chris Rock, I'm not saying it's right, but I certainly understand. Because dealing with teenagers and adolescents can be frustrating to the point where you're at your wit's end and you don't know what to do. You might have tried all of these things already, like pause and take a breath before responding, use a calm and firm voice, set clear expectations so that everyone is on the same page. You may have give yourself child choices so that they can have a sense of control. Remember to always use positive reinforcement and praise. Set a good example by managing your own emotions. That's all well and good, and that's great advice, but it's not always practical, and it doesn't often come out that way.
Lindsay says, she writes it and says, whisper. Then they have to focus more on what you're saying.
That is true.
There is an adage, like there's you can say something and say it in a loud voice. I can say something and say it in a quiet, direct voice, and mine is much more scary because I'm less likely to do it. Right, so that does also show you that if your go-to move is always yelling, it's just heard at the same volume, right? It's a flat line. There's got to be some variation in it in order for it to be effective and attention-getting. But
I do not disagree with that.
it again, it happens to the best of people. But Finland has been named the world's happiest country for the 8th straight year. The Finns apparently are a happy bunch.
What are they doing over there?
That's a good question. We should look it up and find out. Here's what they were polled upon. Life evaluations, GDP per capita, social support, healthy life expectancy, freedom, generosity, and corruption perceptions. Mexico was at 10, Luxembourg at 9, Israel at 8, Norway at 7, Costa Rica at 6. Now, you'll find the Scandinavian people are doing very well in these metrics. The Netherlands at 5, Sweden at 4, Iceland at 3, Denmark at 2, Finland at 1. If you just look at that top 5, they're basically all right there together, except for Iceland. They're basically, but Iceland, no, it's Greenland that belongs to Denmark. So there's something going on right there geographically in that area because they're in the top 5. You want to know where the United States is? Well, we're not last. We're 24th, so we didn't make the top 10, but we did make the top 25. But the least happy countries on earth. Number 138 is Lesotho. They got to be miserable because no one knows who they are. I've never heard of them before today.
Lesotho? So, yeah, that's one of the countries that is in South Africa.
Lesotho is a South African country?
No, it is their own country, but they are completely landlocked by South Africa.
Okay, on the continent of Africa. All right.
Yes, they're in the middle of the country of South Africa.
Okay, is Comoros inside Lesotho? Because they're less happy than Lesotho.
What's it called?
Comoros, Comoros.
That sounds.
Oh, it's in East Africa. I don't know that I've ever heard. It's a volcanic archipelago off Africa's east coast.
Oh, well,
so it's like in between Mozambique and Madagascar.
I like that movie.
Number 140, Yemen.
Yemen.
Not like our friends down at Yemen. Right, we know Yemen locally. This is Yemen.
Listen, when I heard Yemen when I moved here and started working for this company, I was like, what is happening? Okay.
Did you ever hear anyone say Shrewsbury instead of Shrewsbury?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things.
Shrewsbury. At number 141, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Oscar Shibwe.
Yep. At number 142, Oscar Shibwe is one of the happiest people you'll ever meet.
Does he still live there?
Nope, he's still. He's playing in developmental league still, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's in the G League.
At 142, Botswana. I told you earlier that there is a geographical commonality between the top 5. I'm seeing a theme emerging here in the bottom 10 as well. Zimbabwe, then Malawi, Lebanon at 145. So there's a departure geographically. Sierra Leone.
Oh, shout out to Colin Chandler.
And this makes extremely good sense. The least happy country on earth, Afghanistan.
Well, I mean,
they've only been being bombed for the better part of an entire century. Whether it was the Russians or whether it was us.
I'm surprised they could even take the time to survey.
Absolutely. Speaking of surveys, I got the results of the survey coming up. We've also got today's Did You Know right around the bend here on In the Know.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start May 11th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Every child deserves the best teachers, facilities, and academic programs to set them up for success both now and in the future.
At Milton Hershey School in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we make that a reality for children from qualifying families who are looking for greater opportunities. Milton Hershey School enrolls students from pre-K through 12th grade from across the United States to live and learn on a beautiful state-of-the-art campus with all costs covered. Students who are accepted to Milton Hershey School have access to a top-tier education, along with health care, meals, housing, and fully funded career pathways to pursue whatever they're passionate about, from performing arts to internships to coding. Students can even accrue up to $95,000 to continue their education after high school, thanks to the generosity of chocolatier Milton Hershey and his wife, Catherine. Are you looking to set your child up for success or know a child who could benefit from Milton Hershey School? Learn more at mhskids.org/admissions.
Teachers are dynamic leaders shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets, and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, sohd.info.
Twin Lakes weather. We'll add in some mid to upper level clouds as we head through the afternoon, but still a decent amount of sunshine to take us into the 50s to near 60 degrees for an afternoon high. Now for tonight, we'll have some clouds overhead and watch for a little bit of drizzle and light showers here and there, plenty of sunshine and mild temperatures tomorrow. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Don't miss the hottest 40 songs in the country. AT40 this weekend. Benny Blanco takes us behind the scene of his new track with Gracie Abrams. And a new one from Benson Boone lands on the charts. It all goes down. American Top 40 this weekend.
Did you know 80% of the closed door buttons in elevators don't do anything?
Other than make me feel better.
What's funny is they make you feel better, and you would think that I do them. I don't touch them.
You won't. No,
I don't. Sometimes I'll ride elevators with people, and it's not you. And I'll see them there. They'll be like, press the button. As soon as the door opens, they don't see anybody. Like, they glance out, and they don't see anybody in the... And so they hit the close button, and like, sometimes people can be out of sight and walking to the other side.
I do think that there is one place that we go that I think the buttons do work.
Sterling Beach?
Nope.
Nope? Okay. But I
like doing it with a kid in an elevator.
I tend to think that the transportation system, and an elevator is a transportation system, is designed with math in mind and timing. I just presume that the Otis company long ago perfected the timing of the elevators, and so I don't feel like that Otis needs my help. But I have a tendency to be, well, one, I like to drive. I like to be in charge of, et cetera.
No.
But
that doesn't sound like you.
Wouldn't you presume then that I would want to operate all the buttons on the elevator?
See,
But I don't.
The more surprising thing is that there's a button that you don't want to push.
It's not that I've never pushed it. I just pushed it and didn't find it overly satisfying and said it's not a button that I really need
Because
to push.
we know if you walk into a place and there's a big red button, you're going to push it, even if it says "do not push."
I would like to clarify. There is a panic button over there on her laptop that has always been there, and I've not touched it a single time because I take it at its word.
It has been with me on a keyboard since before he and I met.
But you've probably wanted to.
Nope. No, I tend to take things at their word. If that will incite panic, I don't want it. Be like,
What does the panic button do? Does it like make a sound?
Question. I'd like to have a President Trump
I have
Diet
one of
Coke
those.
button. but
I have one of the other buttons.
Easy button or a Just Do It button?
What was the button back in the day?
The round to it?
That was easy. Remember
Yeah,
that?
the easy button.
Yes, I have one of those as well.
Disney's Snow White is out today. They have really tried to lay low. This one has been potentially, there have been potholes in the road for here. They cast it. You can't cast a Latina actress. You can cast anyone you want in Snow White. It's a fairy tale, for goodness sakes. Now, the little people they had a problem with, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I don't know what you wanted.
There's nothing. You can't undo the classic Disney movie. I guess they could have not remade it, but it just is what it is. But it's Gal Gadot. She plays the antagonist, and Rachel Zegler plays Snow White.
I caught the special when you were watching it the other morning.
So how do you feel? Snow White's your favorite Disney princess. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten over the fact that everybody is remaking these like this. What's it called?
Live action.
Thank you.
Yeah, live action.
And because I'm not into them at all. So what you do with them, I'm like, okay, but yes, Snow White is my favorite, and I have zero problem with who they chose.
Ash is out, The Alto Night's out, Magazine Dreams out today, and Locked, which is an R-rated horror mystery. Moviegoers apparently are wanting more comedies, thrillers, and action titles. That's according to some new surveys that the movie industry is doing. They did like nearly 70,000 respondents and got that feedback from people. Coco 2, Bob Iger not let it slip, but he did tell people at a shareholder meeting that Coco 2 is happening, so the Coco universe expands. Will they ever find Ernesto Cruz? I don't know.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's okay. I like Coco just fine. It's not something I love, but once I saw it, I thought, okay, I get it. It's got a neat story. It just intimidating. That Dia de los Muertos stuff just kind of, I don't know, it kind of scares me. Talking with the dead and that type of thing. It's just, culturally, it's not something that I like, but the movie is cute. The music is good. So, if you like the Willy Wonka universe, The Golden Ticket, a new Netflix competition show that's Willy Wonka inspired. So you get like Veruca salt, you get thrown into a vat of chocolate or something.
I saw a trailer, teaser or something for that.
Here are three non-traditional TV moms that are the best of all time. Kitty Foreman from That 70s Show.
Yes.
Maura from Craps Creek.
Yes.
And Morticia Addams from The Addams Family. Talk about a chill mom. Like Morticia,
Right.
you couldn't rattle her for anything. She was just always...
I'm all about the first two.
Gomez, dinner is ready. Beyonce has added a second Las Vegas date to the Cowboy Carter Tour. 3.65 billion people watched Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. So there's a result, apparently, of a survey. What did they go? Door to door, knocking? Hey, did you watch Kendrick? Yes. Okay, we'll put you down. Because that was 2 months ago.
That job.
Right? 2 months ago, it takes them to figure.
I mean, they can't even get census right.
3.65 billion people.
Do that?
That's the same
What is
people.
happening?
The same people that did the census are doing the Kendrick survey. They thought they had 10 years to do it, and then I knew it. Before Dolly would sing with Sabrina on Please, 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 she said, of course she can talk a little bad now and then. He said, I told her, I said, now I don't cuss, I don't make fun of Jesus, I don't talk bad about God, and I don't say dirty words on camera, but known to if I get mad enough. Those were the conditions. So they changed the lyrics of this song, which we knew they would, or Dolly wasn't going to do it. So here it is. Got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the week here on In the Know.
Contrary to what you see on some television shows, there are a lot of great dads out there. But some men, well, they are disengaged from their boys. They don't see manhood as a quality they offer to their son. They see it as something their boys will, well, figure out on their own. That was my story. I didn't have a father to teach me how to be a man. I had to figure it out by myself. But that journey, well, it wasn't easy. And it's why I can say from experience that leaving a boy in the hands of trial and error is not a good idea. I remember being frantic before a junior high dance because I didn't know how to tie a tie. I fumbled with it for a while and ended up just trying to tie it in a knot of some sort. Other kids at the dance teased me about it. It was embarrassing. Some people might dismiss that story and say, oh, it was just a tie. But it was more than that. I needed manly guidance, and there was no one there for me. It's the same story for so many other boys as well. You see, something profound happens when a dad helps his boy with his tie, or teaches him to drive, or change a tire, or shows him how to shake hands. You're doing more than transferring a skill. You're imparting a sense of manhood to him. Boys don't automatically develop the character and integrity of true men when they reach adulthood. They learn to become men in the company of other men as they walk and grow through life. To help your boys thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline.
MB's point to ponder for today. What is your strongest age physically? Like when are you at your strongest age-wise? You know, like there's old man strong. You hear about old man strong? That's just because old men usually understand leverage better, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've got like better muscles. So what are you going to say?
I was probably the strongest, probably around 18 through 20. Okay. Of course, I was a runner before. And the process of building a home, moving and packing things, and yeah, I think so, probably. I'm pretty strong now.
To say what happened this time? No, I'm just kidding. Sam,
I don't even know.
Oh, building this house?
Building a house, yeah.
Well, I burnt myself out on the first one.
Sam, what do you think?
I don't even know.
So the research says mid-20s. You're in your muscles are strongest when you're in your mid-20s, to which this gives me great joy that I finally get to say Sam is over the hill at something.
I am over the hill at something.
He's over the hill on being the strongest.
Sam.
Now, he's still the strongest of the collective here.
I am the youngest.
Over the hill.
I don't know.
On TV tonight, Happy
Stronger than I look.
Season 1 finale.
I'd give him, yeah.
NCAA basketball tournament tonight. Troy and Kentucky is the marquee matchup as far as we're concerned. SNL is a rerun tomorrow. Martin Short is the host. You get more NCAA basketball tomorrow. Watson on Sunday night, American Idol Sunday night, and then more NCAA tournaments. So this is the biggest full basketball weekend of the year. Then it will resume Thursday of next week. And then Final Four weekend is 2 weekends from now.
So all weekend, then nothing till Thursday.
Correct.
And then wide open again. I'm just
then
trying
wide
to,
open again.
Just trying to figure out my days.
Yeah,
Okay,
your next
got it.
Sunday will be the last two teams that will punch their ticket to the Final Four.
Okay.
So now we're down to the
Just
final.
checking.
Like we're at the round of 32 today.
things on.
We'll be at the round of 16 on Thursday. We'll be at the round of 8 on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Today's highlight in history, this date in 1965, civil rights demonstrators led by Martin Luther King Jr. began their third attempt to march from Selma to Montgomery. Birthdays today, Timothy Dalton, the worst Bond. The worst Bond is 79. Gary Oldman is 67.
Not Lazenby?
Matthew Broderick. Lazenby is second worst.
I feel like he says it about almost every one of them.
No, Timothy Dalton is without a doubt the worst. Lazenby is the second worst.
All right.
Then I'm going to go with Roger Moore. And then
I feel like we do this every time.
Daniel
as well.
Craig. And then Sean
Maybe I'm
Connery.
thinking of Spider-Man. I don't know.
Matthew Broderick. Ferris Bueller is 63 today. Wow. And the pride of Ireland, Rosie O'Donnell, is 63 today. She's now in the hands of the Irish. So, well, I mean, we're so jealous of them that they got Rosie and we don't. Let's go to chart top. No, gone but not forgotten. Johann Sebastian Bach, born in 1685. Giulio Gallo was born in 1910. Now, when I was a kid, before Bartles and James and their famous "Thank you for your support," there was Ernest and Giulio Gallo, and their marketing phrase was, "We will sell no wine before it's time." And then they probably also owned a stake in Grey Poupon because their slogan was, "Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon?"
Okay, well then they went on to Bugle Boy jeans.
That's right.
Pardon me, are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing?
Why, yes, they are. Eddie Money was born this date in 1949. Chart toppers, 1956. This is Les Baxter and the Poor People of Paris. And I'm thinking, this is a little too peppy to be talking
poor?
about the poor people of Paris. Like,
Maybe this is when they're like tweaking the chimneys.
I would
or
have really thought the
something.
poor people of Paris would be in a minor key,
You would think.
you know, but not. Jewel Aiken's #1 in 65. Thank you, Jewel. Let's go to 1974.
Sunshine
John Denver, #1.
on my shoulders makes me happy.
I wish I had put a clicker on the number of John Denver songs I heard as a child with my mom. Like she would just like play the record, like put a clicker. Oh, John Denver's on.
I
Click,
wonder if,
click.
like, because she listens to the show, I wonder, like, on John Denver days, if she goes and pulls out, like, her
Probably.
John Denver while she's doing things around the house.
More than likely.
She has the earworm.
1983. We were easily entertained and mind blown when we saw Michael Jackson walking and the tiles of the sidewalk were lighting up. It was
Well,
like,
yeah.
I just thought we'd sent man to the moon or something. No, he was just moonwalked. Billie Jean was #1 in 83. Tears in Heaven, Eric Clapton, #1 in 92. Angel, Shaggy, and Rayvon, #1 in 01. Lady A, Need You Now, 15 years ago today. And Jonas Brothers, Sucker, 6 years ago today. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says, time you enjoy wasting is not time wasted. Time you enjoy wasting is not time wasted. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix. K1